Okay, so I'm going to clarify a few things. When I talk about torque, a lot of people are asking me what that means. And what that means, okay, I'm going to give you a quick example. A lot of people hear you say spread the floor with your feet during a squat, or if I were to plant my hands on the ground and spread the floor. Okay, a lot of people keep it in their arms and they forget that it's actually supposed to link to the shoulder, or the foot's actually supposed to link to the hip. So what I like to say is pretend that you're trying to screw a screw into the bottom of the floor. Your foot is the head of the screwdriver, your hip is the handle, and your glute is the tightener or the tensioner. So what you're going to do is screw the hip in and then squeeze the glute, and that creates more tension, creating a ton of torque. Okay, on the kettlebell swing, I'm creating torque. I'm not letting the torque really go. I'm still trying to spread the floor as much as possible and just back my hips in and out of it. That keeps the glutes tight, keeps the lower back protected. Okay, so on to the next thing on what I learned. I actually brought it over from CrossFit. Now, putting yourself under aerobic stress or metabolic stress by doing kettlebell swings and then doing a lightweight movement like shoulders or a dumbbell pullover. In fact, I'm doing Ben Pakulski's primer phase on Hypertrophy Max right now. So what I'm doing in between is I'm supersetting them, and I'm also doing kettlebell swings to put myself under metabolic stress and then get myself breathing heavy. So when I actually learn to ingrain the movement with a lighter weight, next time when I'm not doing kettlebells, I'm going for the heavier weight, it's more permanent. I learned this in the Marine Corps as well, and they really apply it, you know, run, and then put your rifle together, and then take it apart, do 100 push-ups, and then do it again. All in metabolic stress while someone's screaming at you, so when it comes time to put the rifle back together when you're at home, in your own comfort of your own home, doing it with blindfold is easy, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go from kettlebell swings to incline dumbbell front raises to kettlebell swings and over to decline dumbbell pullovers. So. All right, so onto the dumbbell. My shoulder had a ton of problems, and they still kind of do. I'm still working through them. So what I'm going to try to do here, lean back, lock my abs down. I'm going to create tension in my hamstrings and my glutes so it locks me in a position. What I'm going to do is create torque through the shoulder. Boom, winding up that joint and that socket. Now, all I'm going to do is keep that nice and tight. I'm going to keep it in the joint and then just rotate my hands over to activate the full rest of the shoulder. Then I'm going to over the neck. It's still locked back. Chest goes high, rib cage is still locked down. I didn't revert into this point because if I do, you see what happens to my shoulder? Ends up hanging on that front part of the socket, and that gets on that bicep tendon and that pec minor tendon and starts ripping stuff up. That's why everyone has all these AC impingements happening and stuff. So go back to this. Making sure to pause and initiate. What I'm doing right now is I'm flexing my rear delt to keep that shoulder torqued into position. Okay. Bear with me, I like long videos, so you guys see more and more of my pretty face. Now, I'm gonna make it a point when I do the kettlebell swing, I'm not doing the American version by overextending. Okay, I'm popping back up to plank, whipping that kettlebell back out in front of me, and getting back to straight as soon as possible. Keeping the torque and the tension through my glutes and hips makes it easier to do that. Okay. Okay, so this movement, decline position, I'm going to fire my glutes on, which keeps my abs locked down with my rib cage. Okay, so I'm going to wind up, drop my shoulders into their socket, and open up. This is actually an overhead position for an overhead squat. I'm gonna mimic that. So I'm in the dumbbell here, put myself in a good position, and then extend and pull with the leg. Extend, pause, pull. Now what I'm trying to do at the top is almost squeeze my triceps in towards each other, creating more internal rotation. All right, so there's a few tips. Keep your shoulders in a good position. Maybe help you learn the movement by putting yourself under some kind of stress other than just the movement. Obviously don't do a heavyweight and don't do Olympic movements for time. That's just weird.